Hello and welcome back to another episode of the CQ The Watch Guy podcast with me, CQ The Watch Guy. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. We are live, well, sort of live here in Miami in the David SW headquarters right outside of Design District. And we are recovering from an amazing F1 race week. It was awesome. Shout out to Lando Norris for getting his first win. That was really an amazing race to watch. And, who doesn't love a good safety car, right? Amazing things happen when a safety car is around the final laps of a race. Shout out to Lando for his first win. Thank you to everybody who stopped by the store as well, just to say hi and talk some watches. Saw some old friends, a little bit of new friends. And I want to invite you, if you happen to be in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, make sure to swing on by. Come say hi. Feel free to make an appointment. Feel free to come on by without an appointment. Of course, if you make an appointment, that just makes sure we have some time to see everybody. And if there's a certain watch or two that you want to view, it helps us make sure it's in stock in Miami for you. But either way, come by, say hi, have a coffee. We love to say hi and we love to talk watches. But yeah, it was a great week. A lot of crazy cars all around Miami, a lot of great events and a lot of great people. So a little bit tired, but so much fun. And we did get a few new F1 watches. So let's just kind of dive right in, right? That's what you guys want to hear about, the watches, not the racing, right? I'm not the biggest F1 race commentator around Anyway, so Moser gives us a few new pieces. So a couple weeks ago, I believe I talked about the Streamliner cylindrical tourbillon skeleton, that's a mouthful, that Moser announced for their partnership with Alpine. That was beautiful, with a tinted blue sapphire dial up at 12 o'clock. And now we have the pink version for race week. Pink is kind of the Miami colors. I don't know if it's the official color. Maybe it is the official Miami color. Unofficial, official, it's a great color to go along with the sunshine in Miami. And so the pink version is out. So now you have the pink and the blue limited editions. I think both of them are 20-piece limited editions. And pictures don't really do it justice, right? I want to put up a really cool shot that they have here with both pieces in the sunshine. And it really shows how opaque the sapphire tinted dials are, and it really blends really well with that with the whole skeleton dial and the whole skeleton feel of the watch. Listen, it's a Streamliner tourbillon, so it's a little bit higher there in price point, but the execution is amazing. It's not for everybody, but it's just fun that they made it. I think for F1 pieces, partnership pieces, either you want something fun or you want something really out the park, and Moser really does that very well. And I think these are cool pieces. I love that they didn't make tons of them. 20-piece editions, I think, are the right places for these type of pieces that are higher price point. And it's a tourbillon. I don't think you need 200-piece tourbillons out there for this type of execution as well, especially with these type of colorways. But I'm a big Streamliner fan, as you all know. So I think these are really cool and really fun pieces. And I'm rooting for Alpine, man. I'm rooting to see a Moser on the podium. It's F1, so anything can happen, but who knows? Put a few bucks down and see if that happens. And I think these are really cool releases. I would love to see what the future holds for the partnership and different releases, and to see what type of materials and technology might be shared between the Alpine racing and Moser on the watchmaking side as well, and see what kind of synergy happens. But also I'd like to see what type of toned down non-tourbillon limited editions might pop out as well. I have a feeling some interesting things might come out in a more accessible, more tamed down version, more like in, let's call it the $30,000-$40,000 range, versus I think these are around $97,000, which makes sense. Skeleton, tourbillon, super limited edition. So looking forward to seeing something a little bit more tamed down in the future, but these are cool nonetheless. And I know a few people definitely had a lot of fun wearing these watches during F1 weekend. We also saw a few cool, Tudor did a Black Bay I always mess up this team. It's the Visa Cash App RB team, which was AlphaTauri. So they did a chameleon black bay for the chameleon colorway they did for the Miami Grand Prix, which is a nice black bay with just a fun chameleon color, which is basically looks like a rainbow palette of paint all over the dial. I think these are fun, and I like the price point that these would be in theory would probably be around $5,000 or $6,000, maybe under five, right? 5,500 or so. My only complaint with the Tudors are these haven't been announced as a a small production, even like a 10, 15, 20 piece production. And we've already seen Daniel Ricciardo with the black bay with the blue dial. I think a couple months back when that relationship was announced. So I'd love to see these pieces actually make it out into the wild. Of course, it's fun that, drivers or when, ambassadors have relationships with brands, you see these really unique pieces, one off piece uniques made for them. But I think for a brand like Tudor, there's just such an easy win here to make, especially the blue dial. The chameleon one is I could see that being more of a, maybe this is just for the Grand Prix, maybe this is just for the drivers, but that black bay with the blue dial, I think that'd be just a great tie-in for the racing team that you can make a 200-300 piece limited edition that a lot of people would sell out immediately. I see no losses, commercially or on the marketing side if they did that in a nice limited run. Let's see if they do it. They just did Inter Miami Chronograph. So I can see it being something that they're doing. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun in my assumptions there. So fingers crossed that those come out, because I would honestly, I'm funky enough where I buy the chameleon piece, but I would get that blue dial black bay. But the chameleon piece, if they said this was the one they'd make, I'd do it just because I'm a big fan of the black bay. And just even like the black strap with like kind of the colored stitching, this is just a fun watch. And I think at that price point, I don't mind getting something like this that's having a little bit of fun. I don't think this is something that'll be like, oh, you buy for 6,000 and goes for 20, 30,000 on Chrono 24. Yes, somebody might put it up there, but it is definitely something that you could get into it and probably be able to take most of your value back out if you trade it to somebody else or you sell it to a dealer. You should be able to get most of your value back out if they ever produce it. So finger crossed they do, because it's a fun watch. And now that I'm becoming more and more of an F1 fan, I need to get some type of F1 watch. Or there's a lot to dig in the archives as well. Either way, it was a great, great weekend. If you're not an F1 fan, tune in. I think it's definitely worthy of watching, and there's so much tie-ins between F1 and watches that if you need another reason to collect watches, that to watch some F1, watch some Drive to Survive on Netflix, you can definitely give yourself many reasons to collect and watch at the same time. Now let's dive into our watches of the week, and we're going to start off with one of my favorite brands, Breitling, with a Breitling Superocean 42 in bronze. So I wanted to talk about the Breitling Superocean because Superoceans, I feel like I haven't given them enough love, especially in the past couple of years. I love Breitlings, as you all know. The Superocean line is one of their tanks. All Breitlings are pretty much tanks, but the Superocean is, to me, one of the more versatile tanks throughout the generations. And in the past couple of years, they've kind of not revolutionized, but they've modernized and updated the Superocean case, and they give it an extra dash of zhuzh, let's say, with the bronze. And with this bronze, I think they've reached a level that I really love. And at the price point, $39.75, full set, box and papers, excellent condition. I think this is a great Superocean for somebody who's looking for a nice diver, looking for a very unique piece. Again, a tank, but something unique, something fun, something that's going to be very identical to you, very individual to you because it's bronze. So it's going to have its own individual patina. And I just love the look. I love the whole aesthetic. No date on this watch, just time only. Good blocky hour hand on that as well. Big blocky hour indices as well. And just the overall aesthetic, I'm just really digging from this watch. And again, it's a Breitling, it's a Superocean, so you can swim all day. I think 300 meters on this, screw down crown. You can you'll wreck your hand before you wreck this watch. But being that it's bronze, it just has this really appealing aesthetic to it. And, have some fun, take it in some salt water, and it's meant to live. Watches like that, they're meant to really live life with you and have some adventures. And I think this really hits the nail on the head. Really cool deploying class on it. And I'm a big fan of the Superoceans over the generations. And this current generation, I'm a big fan aesthetically. I think they really put it in a very nice place. Don't think they need to touch the Superocean for a very long time. But if you're looking for a bronze watch and you don't want to go into Panerai Bronzer territory, you don't want to go into like maybe the Bell & Ross territory, but you've been thinking about something that's on the more refined side, the Superocean, in terms of bronze watches, look, very refined look, gives you everything you want there. Comes on a rubber strap. I wouldn't be afraid to put this on a green croc and dress it up a little bit as well. I think this will be a really good entry into any collection. And again, that price point, $39.75, I think it's worth to take a chance on it. Moving on up, we have the Ulysse Nardin Blast Skeleton X in 42 millimeters, full set. This one's not too old, January 2024, $18,575, really good price point on this. I love Ulysse Nardin. They're one of those brands that for a very long time, they've just been they've been working so hard for the consumers' dollars. And I say that a lot about a few different brands, but Ulysse Nardin is one of those brands that really opened my eyes to that when I got into the industry. Back then, they were under the leadership of Patrick Hoffman, and they were just really at every price point, amazing watches and in-house movements and really crazy things from, the $10,000 divers, then you got into the Freak line, and then you go into the automatons, just insane stuff. And in modern Ulysse Nardin, you could still get amazing value. So you go into something like the Blast Skeleton. What do you have here? The Blast Skeleton is the upgrade to executive line, which you might remember from the executive dual time, which is a little more of a dressy watch. Here, in-house skeleton movement, skeleton dial that was truly made to be a skeleton dial, right? This was developed from the ground up to be a skeleton dial, skeleton movement watch. It wasn't a time-only movement that was then deconstructed. And what happens when you have a movement and a dial that was meant to be skeleton from the ground up? Aesthetically, it's just perfect, and the layout is just amazing. And that's what you have here. You have escapement at 6 o'clock that's beating away beautifully. You have your barrel up there at 12, and in between, you have a beautiful ballet of all your gears and movements. Of course, your hour and minute right there in the center, and everything is just framed amazingly. Your markers, your 3 and your 9, everything just frames in the movement amazingly. Very, very legible, very, very readable. I just enjoy watches that are designed. Form follows function, and the form here was to produce, the function here was to produce a skeleton dial watch. So the form followed really, really well. And yeah, again, value-wise, not many people, $18,575, in-house movement, skeleton dial, unique, love it on the rubber strap. And this is one of those rare instances I'm going to tell you, you don't have to run out and change the strap, because I think this is a very versatile looking piece. And I like it on a rubber strap because you could have some fun with it. You could get it wet. If you wanted to dress it up, you could put a leather on it. Leave it the way it is. I think the way it is now, you could wear it and adjust your situation. You can have some fun and you can get it wet a little bit. I don't think you need to, but of course, do what you want. Don't let this be the first time I tell you, don't put a different strap on the watch. Blast Skeleton X from Ulysse Nardin, $18,575, full set. If you want something fun, if you want something a little freaky, get it? Check out the Blast Skeleton X. All right, now last up, let's talk about the AP Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph, 39 millimeter, 26-300 ST. When you're talking AP chronographs, there's so much. There's so many references, there's so many different eras to really look at. The 26-300 ST, to me, is a series, a reference series that really is the perfect lane to look at. 39 millimeter for them, to me, is their diamond class. Everything was just perfect with the 39 millimeter chronographs. There's so many different colorways. Let's concentrate on what we have here. This beautiful kind of panda layout, not black, but a charcoal gray with your white there, right? So charcoal gray on your perimeters, and then on the subdials, the inner subdials, charcoal gray there, red on your chronograph second hands, and then on the tip of your subdial counters, you have red there as well. So just really good contrast, really good colors. The 39 millimeter case itself fits pretty much any wrist supremely well. Right now, the existence of 38 millimeter chronographs are out. There's 41 millimeters that do well too, but the 39 fits a big wrist like me really well. So it fits a smaller wrist very well too. Not many wrists I've seen a 39 millimeter chrono not hug. You know what I mean? I've never seen a 39 millimeter AP chrono not get along with. It just has a character. Even just looking at it right now, I just want to like take it out of the screen and put it on my wrist. It just has this unique character. It wants to live with you. It just wants to go on a few journeys. And to me, this was some of the best chronos that you could get out of AP at the time. And still today, this is like the best of, I guess it is, you could still call it neo vintage. These came out from 2008 until I think 2012, 2013. This is full box papers from October 2009. I think if you're a fan of AP and you've just been diving in all the Royal Oaks and you've been looking and looking and looking, and there's so many different variations out there, take a hard look at the 39 millimeter chronos. Take a hard look at the 26-300s. If you've been thinking about a white dial, thinking about a panda, this is one to look at. There's not many that give you this type of character that has just so many little things that were done just exceptionally well, that it just has a unique look, a unique feel, and it just outclasses so many other watches at the price point. And even in a room full of other people wearing APs, these still just kind of peak out above others. It is really hard to explain the magic that these 39 millimeter chronographs, especially the 26-300 series, they have. And this panda I love, especially because it's not a straight black and white. It's that charcoal gray with the red, with that creamy white, that silver dial. It just really gives you a nice colorway, a nice contrast, and something unique to put on the wrist. 34,675, full set, excellent condition. You don't put a different strap on this. You could, but keep it on a bracelet. Yeah, definitely. If you've been thinking about an AP, this is the one to get. Especially if you've been flirting with chrono and you've knocked down your time only, your time only feeling. You've kind of crossed that off your list, and you've been thinking, oh, I want a Royal Oak chrono. I want something unique. Check out this panda. Check out a 26-300 ST. You're not gonna regret it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm CQ the Watch Guy, and remember, buy what you love.